Welcome, welcome, welcome to another segment of Divine Femininity United. I am your girl, Miss B. As you already know, we are here to collectively read and discuss. If you have something to discuss, if you have some feedback, if you have some questions, if you have any little bit of tidbits of information and nuggets that actually resonated with you really well into your core, and you want to share how much it has resonated with you, this is the time to do it. This is the place to do it here while we collectively read and discuss. We are going through, as a collective, we're going through two books. One, which is Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, that we read collectively on Tuesday evenings. And then the second is Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping, that we will be wrapping up today. Today is the final reading of that book. And I'm telling you, that book has been very much so transformative. It has been amazing. It has been awesome. It has been wonderful. It has been telling. It has been confronting. It has been revealing. It has been, a little painful, but it's also been healing. It's been necessary. Oh my goodness, it's been necessary. So before we get started, I want to invite you all to do me the favor, do me the honor of gracing us not only with your presence, but with the presence of other people that you would feel would benefit with this and resonate with this reading, this portion that we're going over today, and even moving forward, so that they can just turn on notifications and just know when we come together, when we gather, when we do our healing and our crying and our laughing and rejoicing and celebrating and being victorious together in this journey we call life, whether it be in our personal lives, in our relationships, in our spiritual lives, you know what I'm saying, in our business, in our careers, in our individual alignment to our higher selves, whatever the case. This is where we do it collectively. Okay. There's no big I's, no little U's. Everybody is on the same journey. So we're all journeying together, holding each other's hands, keeping each other accountable for the things that we are encountering in this journey, in this life. Okay. Ensuring that we actually fulfill the task and the journey that is on our lives. Right. So that's what we're doing here. In Divine Femininity United. Okay. And I appreciate you all for your presence and for being here, your energy. Okay. Everything, anything that you, you impart and that you give of yourself into this arena here, this platform. I appreciate you. I've been on this social media platform for a number of years, and there's been some ebbs and some flows, as with anything, you know what I mean? As with anything. And so even with that, I'm thoroughly appreciative of all of it, whether it's an ebb or flow, whether it's an up and down, whether it's a in and out, it doesn't matter. I'm appreciative. I'm thoroughly appreciative, because there are seasons, and as we transition through seasons, then we have to release some things, and then we have to, connect with some newness and things like that. Not forgetting the old, but we're taking the things that we've learned from the past, from the connections, and from all of everything, and then we apply it to our lives, and we journey on to our next portion, our next step, and where we are going to be in our journey, in our life, you know what I mean? And so that particular thing for me is so appreciative. I'm so appreciative of it. I'm grateful for it. The ins and outs. I'm just grateful to be able to have the people or the whoever in my life, you know what I'm saying, to be able to impart, and I'm thankful for it. We are airing, as you all know, on not just Clubhouse. We're airing on Facebook on 4 different pages. We're airing on YouTube as well as Twitter. So we have viewers all over. So it may seem as if we don't have but a few in one platform, but trust me, on this side of the screen, I see everybody, and I'm so appreciative of everyone. Hello, Tamika on Clubhouse. Hello. We had some to come in and step out and things like that. I usually start the room early. I always start earlier than 5 o'clock, our allotted selected time, because I want to give people time to kind of fall in. You know what I mean? You know how we do. Y'all know how we do. Y'all know how we do. We stumble in, we come in when when we good and ready. Most of us don't really understand what it means to start on time, huh? And so with that being said, I usually like to give a little grace period. And plus, I like for people to come on in and be able to share, be able to, bring people in and stuff like that so that they can join in and get the understanding of what it is that we're about to be discussing as well. Okay. The more the merrier. They say, it was a song back in the day, it ain't no fun unless the homies can have some. So let's bring the homies in so we can all enjoy and get this breakthrough that we all so necessarily need. Okay. Alrighty. So as you know, we're going through radical forgiveness. We're going to be finishing up radical forgiveness. Hello, Ashe. Hello, Charmed. How are you, honey? Blessings to you. Blessings to you as well. So we're going to be finishing up the reading of Hey Poe on Clubhouse. We're going to be finishing up the reading of Radical Forgiveness today. And I'm telling y'all, listen, you all, hey Jay, you all, this journey has been amazing. I'm telling you, man, this journey has been amazing. I'm going to tell you something. I do not read ahead of you all. I read along with you all. So the revelations that you all get, they are the same ones that I get when it comes down to, what hits me, what resonates with me and stuff like that. So that's why I absolutely love the feedback. That's why I love to see and hear what it is that you all have gotten out of it and all of those things. I love to hear that because I'm telling you, I'm sharing with you what I'm getting as I'm getting it. You know what I mean? Things that knock me in my head, like, whoa, that was a revelation. That was a rhema, as they say in the ministry, a rhema word, something that was just customized to feel like it was customized for you. Okay. Hello, Okun. How are you? Okun Omi. How are you? Hello, and welcome to Divine Femininity United. Okay. All right. So here we go. We're just going to go over some things that we just went over last week, which were some forms of forgiveness, because everybody just don't have the strength to face their person that has caused them hurt and harm and pain. Some of us are still working through that. Some of us don't want to see, hear, smell, taste, touch none of the person that actually did the hurting and did the pain and rendered the pain. Correct? Right? Let's just be real. One thing we don't do here is sugarcoat nothing. Okay. We're going to talk about it. But see, because of that right there, that don't mean if you can't face them, that does not mean that you are not allowed to forgive just because you just don't have the energy or the strength. Hello, Mr. Universe. You don't have the energy or the strength to be able to confront and deal with it. There are ways that you can do what it is that you need to do, which is forgive. And here we go. Okay. Chapter 24, just to go back through it, it says forgiveness is a 3-letter word. So it talked about writing 3 different letters, and I'm going to go ahead and go into it. And so you can be reminded of the 3 letters that you would write if you cannot face this person, okay, directly, but you still need to forgive them. And there are times where the person is not even physically there. They may have transitioned on, they may be locked away. There's so many different things that could be a reason why you can't face them, other than fear, other than you just can't, you're not ready yet, all of those things, but you know that you need to forgive them, right? Here we go. It says this tool simply involves writing 3 letters to the person you feel has wronged or hurt you in some way. It works wonderfully when you are really upset about something that has just happened. It even works on something that happened a long time ago. Okay. Vent all your anger in the first letter. Hold nothing back. You can threaten vengeance of the vilest kind if it makes you feel better. Okay. Welcome on Clubhouse. Keep your writing until you have nothing left to say. Keep writing until you have nothing left to say, okay? The process of writing this letter may cause you to shed a lot of tears of rage, sadness, resentment, and hurt, okay? Because you're feeling this thing. You're facing this thing. How many of you all know that when you remember a hurt, I don't care what age it happened in, you could have been 5. You know what I'm saying? Hey, sweetheart, you could have been 5, you could have been 12, you could have been 20, and you're 50. It doesn't matter when and how long ago it happened. When you remember a hurt or pain, you automatically, it's almost like an astral projection back to that point, right? Hey, Shawnee, it's an astral projection back to that point. And it's like you take on that whole being of where where you were when the hurt first happened. If the hurt happened, if you're 20 right now and the hurt happened when you were 5, you're going to revert back to a 5-year-old emotionally. You're going to go back to that place where the hurt began, where the hurt happened, right? And you're emotionally going to revert back to 5 in a 20-year-old body. Okay. So that's exactly what this is talking about. You're going to feel those things. You're going to feel the rage, the hurt, the sadness, resentment. You're going to feel that. And that's normal, right? That's normal. So here we go. It says, let them flow. Have a box of tissues beside you. Absolutely. If you're angry, scream into a pillow or do some physical activity to help you feel your anger. That's a good time to get your workout on. Okay. If you want to just jog it out or punch it out, people got punching bags and stuff, all types of stuff. A lot of people dance it out, that whole crump dance. That was a dance to be able to let out aggressions and things like that. Okay. It says, if you're angry, scream into a pillow or do some physical activity. Under no circumstances do you mail this letter, though. Under no circumstances. Hey, Shauna on Facebook. Welcome, you all. Thank you all for coming, and feel free to share and invite others too. Okay. The next day. Now, this is after you write the first letter where it's filled with the anger and the rage and the sadness, right? The next day, write another letter. This one should carry somewhat less anger and vengeance, although it still does not let the person with whom you are angry with off the hook, right? For what you believe they have done to you. It should, however, make an effort to bring compassion, understanding, and generosity, as well as the possibility of some sort of forgiveness into the equation somehow, some way, right? Do not mail this letter either. You're not mailing the letter. You have to understand this is simply to get it out of you. That's what this is. Simply to get it out of your being, out of your vessel, right? The following day, this is the third day now, write a third letter. Okay. In this one, attempt to describe a new interpretation of the situation based on the principles of radical forgiveness. Since this mimics the radical forgiveness worksheet, refer to the notes on the worksheets as a signpost for your letter. But write it in your own words as best as you can. This may feel like a struggle at first, right? Because you still feel these things. Just because you're writing these letters, come on, let's be real here. Just because you're writing these letters does not mean that you're not still mad. It does not mean that it doesn't still bother you. It does not mean that it didn't happen. It does not mean that we're going to erase it from history. No. We're just changing our perspective of the thing, right? And again, we're getting it out of you. Okay. But remember, you will have to fake it till you make it, though. You're going to have to fake it till you make it, because this is your healing process. This is your healing process. And don't get me wrong. Let me just say this too. If the person hurt you and you choose not to be around this person anymore, guess what? That is your right. You ain't got to be around them no more. Just because you forgive them don't mean that we now about to skip to Malou or skip down the yellow brick road holding hands. That is not what that means. Okay. I talked about it last week. There's a difference between faith and foolishness. Okay. You can have the road towards the journey of forgiveness and still use your brain. Because that person hurt you before, they have the tendencies to hurt you again. Hello, somebody. So, but you're the one that's going on this forgiveness journey, not them. So why would you put yourself back into the harm, into the hands of the one who rendered the harm in the first place? That's self-sabotage. That's crazy. Okay. Because then eventually you're going to have to go through this whole process again. Right. But this time you listen, what's the fool me once? Shame on them. Fool me twice. Shame on you. Okay. So here's the thing. Radical forgiveness says this. What happened, happened. There's no changing that. Old way of forgiveness is telling you, like the pseudo forgiveness says, forgive and forget. That right there, that is no, we're not forgetting anything. Okay. We can forgive and then we can remember. If we forget, then we will forget all of the lessons that were gained in that. all of the wisdom that was gained in that. We wipe away every single thing that was gained if we forget. We cannot forget. Wisdom says, don't forget. Forgive. Don't forget. Because there was a reason why you went through the situation in the first place, to gain the understanding and the wisdom. Not about that person, because it's not about them. It's about you. It's about the reason why certain things were even allowed in the first place. What was happening in you that even allowed you to allow this stuff to take place? Something, the wisdom was gained there. So never forget, okay? This again is a process for your healing. None of these letters are ever mailed. It is neither necessary nor desirable to do so. They are designed to shift your energy, not the energy of the recipient. Venting your feelings rather than projecting them once again onto the other person serves as the objective. That is the objective. Sending the angry letter in particular accomplishes nothing whatsoever. Doing so will only keep the attack defense cycle going, and that will drag you deeper into the drama. Remember, as you shift your energy in the direction of radical forgiveness, the energy of the other person changes automatically. And even if it doesn't, if that person is wanting to understand that, yes, I hurt you and thank you for bringing that out to me, because a lot of people, surprisingly enough, don't even realize they do the stuff they do. This is just their way of being. And they've been this way for so long that this is just they're on autopilot right now. It's unfortunate. But a lot of people don't know that they speak to you a certain type of way. They don't know that they dismiss you a certain type of way. They don't know that they're disrespectful to you in any type of way. They don't know that they're lacking appreciation for you. Anything. They have this sense of entitlement. There is so many people just don't even realize what they do because they've been doing it for so long. Okay. So you changing your perspective could ultimately cause them to change theirs. And that's a beautiful thing. However, come on, Libra kicking in. There's another side of that too, because you changing may not change them, right? So if it causes them to want to disperse, then what you say is, may the Lord watch between me and thee while we're absent one from the other. Okay? Because no, you're somewhere. You're in a different place right now. And if you stay around that right there, or if that person stays around you, I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be a problem. There's going to be a level of frustration somewhere, whether it be in you or in them. So for your sake, allow them to decide whether they want to stay or leave. It is what it is. Or even for your sake, make the decision for you. How about that? All right. But still forgive. Forgive and transition works well together too. Forgive and here's your walking papers. That's a real thing too. I forgive you, but you do have to go. All right. You do have to go. You can either keep the letters for future reference or use them in a forgiveness ritual. My personal preference lies in using the ritual of fire to perform them, which I love too. Something powerful happens when you see your words turn into ashes and rise up in a column of smoke. I love that. Okay, here's different forgiveness rituals. So he just brought up the fire one, right? And so he's going to go off into the other ones as well. The power of ritual is underestimated in our society today. I'm going to say it again. The power of ritual is underestimated in our society today. Those in the spiritual community, you already know how powerful ritual can be. Those of us who understands where we derive from, our origins, we understand that ritual was a huge, and still is a huge part of our culture and our heritage. It wasn't until we were forcibly brought over to this country, those of us who were, or those who are natives in this country, Native Americans were natives here, and was forced to undo. I'm going to say it. I understand it's Sunday. This is the perfect day for church. Hello, somebody. Okay. I say Charm said, say it one more time for the people in the bike. Okay. Not in the back, in the bike. Okay. Because Y'all need to understand ritual is necessary. Whether the saints of the church want to acknowledge it or not, they got ritual too. What is communion? Would that be ritual? What is praise and worship? Is that ritual? Spiritual interpretation and dance. Is that ritual? What is laying hands on and putting oil on the foreheads and anointing and things that washing feet? What is that? Is that ritual? What about weddings? What about candle burnings at weddings? What about jumping the broom? What about, vows or ring exchanges? Those are rituals. People, please, I need us to quit playing ourselves. These are rituals. Where do we get these rituals from? They came from our native origins. They came from our people. They didn't come from the people that stole us, that overtook us. They didn't come from those folks. Okay, they didn't have rituals. Their ritual, their traditions were to steal, kill, and destroy. As it's been since the day they. Okay, all right. This ain't about them though. Rituals. The power of ritual is underestimated in our society today. It is. When we ritualize any procedure, we make it sacred. Thus, the ritual speaks directly to our soul. So it surpasses the flesh. Even in the Bible, it says the things of the spirit are foolish to the people of the world. Because unless you tune your mind into spiritual things, you won't understand spiritual stuff. It'll be deemed witchcraft or demonic or whatever the case, because you yourself don't have the understanding and you're not tuned in spiritually to understand what's happening. Okay? While rituals can be very simple or quite complex, depending on what it is, the complexity matters less than the reverence you show the ritual. Period. Okay? Period. Catholics won't even let you consume communion, the bread and wine, unless you are Catholic. There's a reverence to their ritual. All right? The ritual invites the participation of the divine in human affairs, and as such, represents another way of praying. All right? Rituals become all the more powerful when we create them ourselves. When you put yourself into it. Now, don't get me wrong. I am a hoodoo practitioner. Yes, I am. That came from my ancestors. Absolutely. Okay. That also came from some of y'all's ancestors. Okay. Whether you want to acknowledge it or not. Okay. All right. Again, the slathering of the forehead with the oil and all of that stuff, working with the herbs and the this and the that and the third, that came from your grandmammies and them. All right. All right. So anyway, it wasn't until it was made to be wrong did they put a name and the darkness and the this and the connotation on it. Okay. It was just a way of life. They didn't need a name. It just was. Simply. Okay. So with that being said, for me, I learn my practice from my ancestors, not from a book. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Ashe Charm said thank you to ancestors. Absolutely. Now I can be there to assist. I can be there to guide, to help align and connect you to your ancestral source. Absolutely. I'm gifted in doing so. But when it comes down to when you pour yourself into your particular ritual, oh baby, that's customized to you. No other person can tell you. Your practice comes from your people. It comes from your people. And the more detached from your people you are, the less likely you'll be able to connect to you all's custom bloodline generational workings. My workings come from my elders. Okay? I support other practitioners, absolutely. But other practitioners, your stuff came from your people. we may not have the same people, right? So I can take some nuggets and things like that or whatever, but all of my stuff, the soul of my work, they come from my people. So I can only get it from my folks. So when you create a customized ritual for yourself and you put yourself in it, then honey, it makes it all the more powerful. That's why all of the TikTok practitioners and the YouTube practitioners, baby, listen. Okay, don't let them folks get you killed out here. Because that is nothing to play with. Don't let them folks get you snatched up out here. Okay? Because you want to take on Susie Q and Billy Bob's. Oh, okay. All right. All righty. Ritual with fire. Ritual with fire. Okay. Mr. Universe say 100. Period. Your connection to your people comes through you. You, from them to you. All right. It ain't a conference call. This ain't a panel. You know, hey, them to you. So what I do in my workings and in my guiding and mentoring, I help you connect to your people by aligning you with your highest self, by aligning you with your folks. Okay. Hello, Mr. Trevor. How are you? How are you? He said facts on Facebook. Yes, yes. Absolutely. I align you with yourself so that you can get the downloads directly from your folks, not from, all of that. Okay. Ashe say, boom, just like that. Okay. And when I tell you Ashe, listen. We're going to have you on here, Charm. We're going to have to have you on here one day because, baby, they not even understanding. Okay? All right, here we go. Ritual with fire. Fire has always been the element of transformation in our alchemy. Always, okay? All the elements, actually, but definitely fire. Whenever we offer something up through fire, we tap into primordial beliefs and fire's transformative power. For this reason, a ritual burning of a radical forgiveness worksheet or a release letter or the letter trilogy that you just finished writing provides a sense of completion and transformation. Carry out the burning with ceremony and reverence. Say a prayer as the items burn. I do this. I'm a life and purpose coach, a spiritual guru, sexual intimacy coach, all of those things. So when I have people to do this burning ceremony, baby, it is something so empowering and something so freeing and releasing to see the embers go up in the sky and disappear. It's something, because when you see that last spark of flame go, it's like, breathe and release. The final thing that I have them to do once the last ember has disappeared, I have them to inhale, and think about everything. When you release, before you release, I want you to think about everything that has now left your being, left your mind, left your spirit, left your heart. When you release, you're releasing. And it is done. Ashe. And so it is. Okay? Okay? Ashe said one day, yes, I'm here for a yes, ma'am. Okay? And it's done. And it's done. That's a beauty about that fire. It's a beauty about it. Say a prayer as the items burn. I release anything that no longer serves me. I release any energy that does not belong to me. Okay? Better be ready to let go. No looking back. I'm talking about straight Mama Oya that way. Okay? Because Oya will say, once you leave it here, don't you look back. It's no longer part of you. Once you leave it with me, it's done. Okay? Whew, listen. Y'all, hey Ricky say Miss B is fire. Listen, I love you. Thank you so very much. I'm telling you. Okay, here we go. Burning scented wood, sages, sweet grass, and incense will intensify any ritual and bring special significance to a forgiveness ceremony. There are herbs out here. Listen, Ashe said, don't you look back. Don't look back. There are herbs out here that has a significant purpose for every single thing. When I tell you, Mother Earth provides. Mother Earth provides. Okay? Mother Earth provides. Mother Earth provides. There's absolutely no lack in Mother Earth. There's a solution before you see a problem in Mother Earth. There's abundance in Mother Earth. Okay? Whether it be sticks, whether it be stones, roots, bones. Oh, Mother Earth Goddess. Yes. It is such, listen, you want to talk about reverence? You want to talk about reverence? We feed from Mother Earth. We drink from Mother Earth. We are cooled by Mother Earth. We are warmed by Mother Earth. It's like always, we can breathe because of Mother Earth. Do y'all understand the reverence that we can walk around? I literally 3 or 4 times a day. 3 or 4 times a day. Okay. I will stop what I'm doing and I will walk outside. All right. Yes. Paul says, Mother Earth is the living God. Okay. I will walk outside and I will just sit. I have walked out there with no shoes on and I just sat. I have a garden in my backyard. Okay. And to be able to put my hands in her, to be able to just run my fingers and my toes. One thing about Mother Earth, honey, she's consistent. Through all the ages, ice, stone, it don't matter. Guess what has lasted? Mother Earth. Because listen, all year round, she consistent. She don't care about no storms, no famine, don't care what government, who's sitting in the high seat, don't care about no corona, don't care about none of it. Because guess what? Her show will never stop. Her show will never cease. Winter, spring, summer, fall. Mother is continuing. Okay? And we got to reverence her for that. We must. We must. We absolutely must. So the elements of her, and you want to talk about reverence, and you want to talk about power, walk outside. Walk outside. There you go. There's some power for you. Okay. Here we go. The smoke from the sage and the sweet grass also cleanses aura, thus removing unwanted energies from your energy field. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Yes, Ricky. Here we go. Ritual with water. Come on, water. Come on, flow. Come on, currencies. And come on, movement. Come on, fluidity. Come on, just, ooh. Water possesses healing and cleansing qualities, and we give it the ability to make things holy. Ritualized washing, immersing, and floating can all be used to good effect. For example, instead of burning a release letter, fold it into a boat and let it fast flow down the stream of water. Let the water take it away. Let the water take it away. Let the water take it away. Okay? You have what is Oshun, right? At the rivers and the stream, Oshun. And then if you go out to the ocean, you got my mama, okay? Yemoja. What you want to do? You're covered. Yes, Mr. Universe says this is the history of the message in the bottle. Let it flow. Let the elements, let the gods and goddesses, let them direct, let them listen. Hello, Toya. Toya says she's at work. No problem, honey. You better get your coin, honey. But you can listen. You can chew and walk at the same time. I appreciate you for being here. Let that water carry it away. Let it wash it away. Let the flow carry it. Man. Look, Ricky said, I knew you were going to hit that Yemajah mark on point. Yes, God, honey. You better know it. Talk about a wash away. Talk about a carry away. All right. Now, be creative. Be creative with your rituals and make them meaningful to you. You may recall the story of Jane that he spoke about earlier in the book, who had brain cancer and had put in the attic a box containing everything associated with a man who broke her heart. That's another thing, y'all. Get rid of the stuff, the reminders of pain. I understand, oh, he got me labels, oh, he bought me or she got me this or whatever. You got to get rid of that stuff. Anything that reminds you of the pain, that takes you and snatch you back into the memory of hurt. Remove and release, honey. Release, release, release. I had waist beads on with a previous mate that I had on. Once I cut him, I cut them. Because everything carries energy. Everything carries energy. All right? Tamika say, wow, you are speaking volumes. Honey, let it go. Release. Let it go. When I moved from my old previous home that I shared with my former husband, what I call my husband, okay? I didn't carry a dresser, a bed, a picture frame from that house. No, those are things that we purchased collectively. I don't need no residue over there in my new place, because this place is rendered sacred for me and my new journey, my new path, not my old. It's not so much as a picture over here of what was. I understand those are memories, Miss B. You can't just get rid of who can, baby. The way my file cabinet is set up, I got it. I remember the good. I remember those things. I remember the lessons, all of that stuff. I do. I don't need to hold on to it. I don't need to be reminded of the things, and the very things that she held on to. Once she thought about that, she had so much pain in that box. So many memories, but so much pain in that box. How is it possible for you to make room for anything new when you still got the old sitting in the old spot? There's no room in your heart for someone new because the old person ain't living. You ain't never gave and issued an eviction notice. And I'm talking about even in my coaching, I talk to you, I talk and walk you through letting that person go, but also calling your energy back from that person. When I tell you get rid of, I mean from the rooter to the tutor. Okay? Ashe says, if you touch it or look at it and it give you a not pure feeling, it has to go. That's on period. Okay? That's on period. If it's going to take you all the way back to memories of and all of this stuff, when you've released and you've done the work to heal, oh no, we don't need no reminders of old pain. Oh no, we're done with that. We've healed from that. No. Let it go. Let it go. The object, it's an object. It has value because you gave it to it. Same thing with cash. Cash only has value because we gave it value. Come on. If we didn't deem it important, it would not be, because it would literally just be a piece of paper as it is. Celebrities wouldn't be celebrities or wouldn't even be classified as celebrities unless we made them so. Otherwise, they would be people just like us as they are right now. Right? We give things value. And so when you stop valuing the old stuff, things that old and the things that brought you pain or whatever, old hurtful memories, then you will let it go, and you will understand that it holds no more place in you. It holds no more value in you. It has no invitation into your newness. Let it go. Right? But this lady here, she remembered all her old hurtful memories from this person. She couldn't bring herself to let it go. When he told her, he said for her to get her healing, he said, we got to go up in that box now. We got to confront some things, because hiding them away does not mean, confronting. Contrary to popular belief, out of sight and out of mind does not mean you're over it. I'm going to say it again for the people in the bike. Out of sight and out of mind does not mean you're over it. Does not mean you've forgiven. Does not mean that you've let it go. It simply means out of sight, out of mind. Okay? Oh, it's still there. And when she thought about having to confront those old feelings, it was so overwhelming to her that it caused her to have a heart attack. That's how strong of a hold that person had over her and her emotions. After all these years, that box sat in her attic for years. That man probably gone on. He probably done married 2, 3, 4 times. Okay. But had 5 girlfriends on the side. Who knows? Who cares? But that hold that he had over her was so strong that even the thought of confronting the pain caused her to have a heart attack, and she passed away before getting her healing, before understanding the radical forgiveness. That is not what we're trying to do, y'all. Nope, not at all. Next chapter, artful forgiveness. Art provides a powerful tool for forgiveness and emotional release. One of the most dramatic healings through art I have ever been privileged to witness and or participate in occurred at the retreat I did in England. One of the participants was a young woman with multiple sclerosis. Her body was weak and wasted, and her voice was hardly audible. Her throat chakra was virtually shut down. She had a husband and 2 children, but the marriage was basically non-existent, and she felt trapped, helpless, and hopeless. Right? At one point during a group art therapy session, she began to draw in a particularly striking fashion. She could not talk, but she kept drawing and drawing. It was hard to discern what she was drawing, but it became clear over time that she was using the medium as a way, the art medium, as a way to regress herself and release old childhood pain. Okay? This is a program that I offer at my nonprofit for children. More specific, foster care children who's dealing with these emotions that they just have pent up and bottled up, and they're being passed around like a old English 40 from house to house, but no one is sitting down asking them, how do they feel? Asking them to express. This helps in, adults as well. He said at some point during the group art therapy session, she began to draw in a particular striking fashion. She could not talk, but she kept drawing and drawing. It was hard to discern what she was drawing, but it became clear over time, right? My wife and I sat there with her as she drew hour after hour, her drawings becoming more and more childlike as time went on. In addition to her pictures, occasionally she would scrawl phrases like bad girl and God doesn't love me. In other words, indicating deep shame, guilt, and fear. Finally, she made a crude stick drawing of what she later was able to recall as childhood rape by an uncle. In this cathartic release, she was able to express in drawings what she had found impossible to say in words and forced to do with her mouth. Okay, no, in words and sound. Okay, her throat chakra had shut down. This is why her throat chakra shut down, you all. It shut down because of what she had been forced to do with her mouth. Her uncle had made her have oral sex with him. And that is why her throat chakra was shut down. Okay? Suddenly, art became an outlet for memories and emotions that had remained repressed for many years. These memories and emotions were responsible for her illness. Unforgiveness can cause you great pain and illness and ailments and even death, stress, worry, strokes, heart attacks. Not letting things go. Our bodies are not purposed to hold such storage like that. Oh, it's something, right? To support this woman in her catharsis, my wife went to the far end of the rather large room in which we were holding the retreat. We then asked her to use her voice to tell my wife that she was a good girl and that God loved her. I made her do it louder and louder until she was shouting at the top of her lungs. After she had shouted, "God loves me," about 20 times, she stopped and looked at me and affirmed, "He really does love me, doesn't he?" That healing moment I will never forget. 3 months after we got back from England, we received a letter from her saying that she had left her husband, gotten a new place to live, and found a job. She was using her voice and asking for what she wanted, and she was finding that she had the power not only to ask, but also to receive. She now saw herself as worthy of it. That's what that was, okay? She had even started a support group for people with multiple sclerosis and was doing art therapy with them. Her strength was returning day by day, and after 3 years, we still hear from her and marvel at her continuously increasing strength. If you are not a verbally inclined person and are not comfortable writing things down, try drawing. You may be surprised by what happens when you communicate in this manner. Buy some decent sized white or black paper, as well as some colored pastel chalks and crayons. The pastels work really, really well on black paper. Know that to use this tool requires no artistic talent whatsoever. You don't have to be Michelangelo, you don't have to be Picasso, you don't have to be Van Gogh, okay? It is not about painting pretty pictures. In fact, if you're full of anger, your pictures will probably be anything but pretty, all right? It is about getting emotions and thoughts out on paper. Again, this is getting it out of you. Begin drawing with no expectations or preconceived ideas. You might ask God or your spirit guides to help you release through the process of drawing and coloring, whatever needs releasing, and then simply start. Whatever wants to come, allow it. Do not judge. Just go with the flow. Do it like a meditation. If you want to tell a story, do that. If you just want to use color, do that. Do whatever you feel like doing. Okay? To use art therapy as a forgiveness tool, use an approach similar to that of the letter trilogy. Do a series of drawings that express how you felt about what a particular person did to you. Hey, everyone on Clubhouse. Welcome, welcome. These pictures would express your anger, fear, pain, sadness, and so on. Okay. Then move into a more compassionate and understanding frame of mind and do some drawings that reflect this attitude. Do a third set that expresses the feeling of radical forgiveness. You might want to put some time between each phase, or you can do them all in one same sitting. It's up to you. Make sure whatever and however that once you start doing this art therapy, you complete all 3 stages, even if you only do 3 drawings in all. Doing just the first one, for example, might leave you stuck in that anger place. All right. So complete the process. As you finish each picture, hang it on the wall, place the pictures in the precise order in which you complete them, and create a vertical or horizontal band on the wall with them. If you are creating a vertical display, begin with the first of the anger ones at the bottom and end with the last radical forgiveness on the top, because that's where you are now. You know how they say, like when you're doing a resume, they say start with the most recent and then go to the furthest, You start with your most recent duties. So your most recent would be your healed state, your state of radical forgiveness. And then you work your way out to what was, right? Title each drawing and date it. Spend some time with the drawings. Let them speak to you. While you were drawing each picture, what were you thinking? Were you thinking certain thoughts? When you look at the drawing later, clear your mind of those thoughts and examine the pictures for anything else of importance. Invite others you trust to give you their interpretations of the pictures. Okay. They may see things that you don't see, right? Or you can keep it to yourself. It's totally up to you. All right. Now we're going into the new area of ways to release and things like that. Of course, the things that we just went over were reviews of last week's. Okay, now we're going into the final. All right, chapter 27, Satori breathwork. As we have discussed previously, suppressed or repressed emotions have toxic effects on both our mental and physical health. Releasing these emotions serves as the first step in the radical forgiveness process. We can release held emotions most quickly and most effectively by using a process called Satori breathwork with the guidance of an experienced teacher. Satori is a Japanese word meaning insight or awakening. Satori breathwork is usually done lying on your back and involves breathing with full awareness in a circular pattern. In other words, you consciously breathe in a manner that has no pause between the in-breath and the out-breath. Carefully selected music is played rather loudly throughout the process. Okay. The person breathes for 40 to 60 minutes through an open mouth, sometimes long and deep into the abdomen, and at other times fast and shallow into the upper chest. That's how the fire breath, that's what Queen Afua calls fire breaths. Okay. This oxygenates the body to such an extent that the body releases from its cells suppressed emotion that has crystallized into energy particles within the cells. As these energy particles are released, the person often becomes consciously aware of these old feelings in present time. The feelings may be expressed as pure emotion, such as sadness, anger, or despair, unattached to any memory associated with them. Conversely, the memory of an event, idea, association, or misinterpretation or misperception that caused the emotion to be felt and suppressed is the first place. May come sharply into focus. It may even surface in a symbolic way or in the form of metaphor. For each person in each breathing session, the experience is different as well as impossible to predict. So allowing is very, very, very necessary in this time right here. As emotions come up, the person breathes through them, which allows the person not only to feel them fully, but to release them at the same time. Okay. We often stop breathing to hold emotions in check. So breathing through them allows this feeling and release to take place. So feel it and release it. Feel it and release it. So don't even give it a place to take root and plant itself. Okay. That's good. In some cases, the person expresses them verbally and kinesthetically while breathing. Okay. No matter how the emotions are released, almost invariably a sense of profound calm and deep peace results from this process. This simple technique provides dramatic and long-lasting healing effects. I have no hesitation in recommending it to anyone who is serious about wanting to clear out their emotional closet. The effects of Satori breathwork are profound precisely because they happen completely within the person, without any interjection, guidance, steering, or manipulation whatsoever by the facilitator. So this is you bringing the healing to you, right? It's just like as a parent, those of you all who are parents, when you purchase your child, a car or something like that, they love it, right? But they're gonna go joyriding. They're going to be speeding. They're going to get tickets. They're going to probably get into an accident or whatever the case. And then they want you to repair it, right? But the moment you say, no, I'm not getting you another car, you're going to have to earn it and get it for yourself. And they save money and they go out and purchase that car themselves. All of a sudden, they become the most responsible beings ever. Okay. The speed limit is 35. They driving 20. Right? They want to parallel park. They're parking in 2 parking spaces to ensure that no one else parks next to them, right? Because it's something about when you earn it yourself that makes you a little more appreciative of the process in and of itself. That's what I think about when it comes down to this work here. because you're earning it yourself. You're doing it yourself. Yes. Yes. Unknown professor. Yes. They appreciate it better. They treat it a little differently because it's something earned by them. It's something done by them. They worked for this. So they're going to appreciate it a whole lot better. That's what I get from this, right? In fact, a facilitator is only present to hold the space as safe and support the breather in moving through the feelings, which sometimes can be scary, rather than suppressing them again. I would not recommend that you do this process on your own for that reason. Absolutely. Same thing with psilocybin. I say the same thing with psilocybin, and I actually offer that. But when I offer it, it's guaranteed. You are mandated to have some type of consultation, and you're also mandated to have a sitter with you, because you got to have a guide to work through your emotions that will come up, guaranteed. Okay. Yeah. Conscious connected breathing is also called rebirthing, because researchers have found that breath work gives us access to memories and emotions lodged in our cells as early as our uteral experience, during the actual birth process, and soon after birth. Birth represents our first major life trauma, and we form profound ideas about struggle, abandonment, safety, and acceptance as we go through this experience. Okay? These ideas often become beliefs that literally run our lives. When someone re-experiences their birth and releases the trauma and beliefs they formed at that time, their lives change dramatically. Dramatically. Another great benefit of Satori breathwork comes from the fact that it integrates new energy patterns into our existing energy fields and restructures our subtle bodies accordingly. This means that when you shift your perspective, your perception, have an insight, or release old emotional patterns, breathwork integrates this into your body's data banks. Using the computer analogy, it is as if breathwork serves as a downloading process in which data currently stored in the short-term computer memory is transferred to the hard drive for permanent storage. This also explains why Satori breathwork is so important in the radical forgiveness process. It accomplishes these tasks not just at the beginning of the process for the purpose of healing, releasing emotional release and healing, but afterward too. When our belief system change and all of the resulting changes in our energy field needs integrating. The integration process anchors the changes in our bodies and helps prevent us from going back into our old ways. I would suggest that you have between 10 and 20 supervised breathing sessions over a period of time, which may take up to a year. After that, you can probably do the breathing process on your own. Okay. I also offer private meditation and guided meditation and things like that as well. So again, you're not by yourself. This could be very overwhelming for some that has never done this before, that don't really know how to do or what to do and things like that. This is only a temporary state for you. You only don't know right now. Okay. You only don't know right now. Oh, welcome, Charity. Charity says, love from Oxford, UK. Welcome, honey. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Okay. Watching from Facebook. So the only reason that it's new to you is because it's new. It's temporary. I mean, it's fresh. Just like any other thing. You on your job, you didn't know your job until you first got familiar with the job. Everyone has a first day of doing something. A first day of being unfamiliar. And the more you do it, the more it becomes natural to you. And that's the same way with this. So starting off, you may need a guide. And if you need one, then I'm definitely here to do that with you. But until you get on your own, until the training wheels are taken off, and baby, you taking off, pum on your bike. Okay. Here we go. Chapter 28, the radical release letter. Y'all ready to release? Because if you're ready, then let's do it. Okay. The release letter is an adaptation of a letter given to me by hypnotherapist and mind-body therapist, Dr. Sharon Forrest of the Forrest Foundation, a nonprofit corporation dedicated to alternative holistic healing located in Mexico. The release letter proclaims to your higher self and to every part of your being that you give full permission for all aspects of unforgiveness still remaining in any situation to be released. It also serves as an instrument of self-forgiveness, for it recognizes that you have created the experiences as a way to learn and to grow. Okay? It recognizes that you have created this experience, right? As a way to learn and to grow. So it's no longer about the other person. This is about you learning and growing. Photocopy the letter as written on the following page and enlarge it to an appropriate size. This is, if you have the book, you definitely can do this, okay? If not, then you inbox me or send me a back channel with your email address and I'll send it to you, simply for you to fast forward to chapter 28 and do your release letter, okay? To use the release letter, fill in the blanks, have it witnessed by someone, and then burn it in a ritual manual. Here we go. You want to date it, and then you want to put your name. The letter reads this way. Dear higher self, I, underline, hereby grant you, my higher self, my soul, my superconscious mind, my DNA, my cellular memory, and all parts of myself that might want to hold on to unforgiveness for whatever reason, permission to release all of the misunderstandings, unfounded beliefs, misinterpretations, and misguided emotions, wherever they may reside, whether in my body, my unconscious mind, my DNA, my conscious mind, my subconscious mind, my unconscious mind, my chakras, and even my soul. And I ask all those who want the best for me to assist in this releasing process. I, underline, thank you, my soul, for creating the experiences that created the unforgiveness. And I really realize that on some level, they have all been my teachers and have offered opportunities for me to learn and grow. I accept the experiences without judgment and do hereby release them to the nothingness from which they came. I, underline, do hereby forgive blank. You call him by name. I release him or her to his or her highest good, and I set him or her free. I bless him or her for having been willing to be my teacher. I sever all unhealthy attachments to this person, and I send him or her unconditional love and support. I, underline, do hereby forgive myself, accept myself just the way that I am, and I love myself unconditionally just the way that I am, in all my power and magnificence. I, underline, do hereby release myself to my highest good and claim for myself freedom, fulfillment of my dreams, wishes and goals, clarity, love, full expression, creativity, health, and prosperity. Signed, your name, date, your name, and then witnessed by, and signed, they sign their name and they date. My goodness. That is something. Because once you do that, once you sign it, once you make an agreement, once you make a vow, a promise, then it's locked, it's sealed. Ashley Charm said, wow, that's deep. Yes, it's sealed. You now have to keep yourself accountable to this and the witness. It's like having best men and bridesmaids at your wedding. Their job is to help you keep your word to self. Okay? Don't be one to get upset with other people when they don't keep their word to you, when you don't keep your word to yourself. Keep your word to yourself. Keep your promise to yourself. You, over anybody else and anything else, are deserving of your love and your support and your promise and your word. So when you do this and you sign this, then you take this and you go outside and you light that joke on fire. Okay? And everything that you've released, the person that you spoke, and you can write this letter, however many letters you need to write. Okay? Honey. Yes, Charity. Self-love. It's a must. Self-love is one of the it must be there in order for you to even want this for yourself. In order for you to take these steps, there has to be a self-love involved. Because self-love says you deserve to let this go. Self-love says no more. Self-love says you deserve to be free. Self-love says, let's release this. It's time. Okay? That's what self-love says. Right? Self-love is the push behind the steps in getting all this hard work done for real. Chapter 29, the forgiveness rose. When we open our hearts to others, we become vulnerable and face the danger of becoming the target for their projections. We do. Their psychic energy can become mixed with ours, and this can deplete our energy, and it does. The more workshops I do, the more I realize that in many cases, the problems people appear to be having with someone in particular stem from the fact that the latter person is able to get into and manipulate their energy field every single time. Almost invariably, the one with whom they have the problem seems to be entering through and the third chakra, which is the one where issues of power and control are stored. Once in, it is easy for that person to control them, sucking their energy or dumping their own energy onto them at will. Of course, this is all done subconsciously, without awareness, and hopefully without malice. But it can be debilitating to the one who being manipulated and puts a great strain on the relationship. Absolutely. You probably won't be surprised to learn that it is most often the person's mother who's doing the invading or controlling, or father, or husband, or wife, or siblings. It's usually the ones that are closest to you, to be perfectly honest. That's doing the controlling, the manipulating, the bringing on the shame and the guilt and the gaslighting and all of those things. Yeah. Even from the grave, I might add. Even from the grave. Just because they're not here physically, don't mean they still don't have a hold on you. Trust me. Okay. It might also be the father or the spouse or any other person who wants to have some control over the person's life. But most often, it's the mother. Most often. Okay. Ricky says we can counter those manipulation spells. You better understand that. You better know it. The easiest way for you to stop this or prevent it happening with people you come into contact with is to simply place an imaginary rose between you and the other person. It is a surprisingly powerful protective device. The rose is a symbol of psychic protection in a great many esoteric writings. For whatever reason, it possesses a great deal of potency in this regard, probably because it is the universal symbol for love. Visualizing a rose gives us protection from the projections of others, offering a way to block negative energy without closing our hearts to the person. I cannot explain why the rose visualization works so well in this regard. In truth, we can create psychic protection with any kind of visualization because just doing so creates the intention of self-protection. And it does. But the rose has been used for centuries for this purpose and seems to work better than most other symbolics or symbolisms. And I can understand that. I definitely can understand it, because again, it can be used as the protector. I mean, because even consider the thorns. Consider the thorns. The thorns can be very protecting. Very protecting. But understanding, although it's protecting, it's also still beautiful. It's also still, a symbol for love. Yeah. Charity says, I done it. It works. Oh yeah. So from now on, anytime you encounter someone whose energy you don't want mixed with your own, visualize the roles existing at the edge of your aura, or halfway between yourself and the person. Then notice whether your aura or notice whether you feel differently while in their presence. You should feel a much greater sense of your own psychic space and identity, while at the same time being completely present for the person. You don't have to be in someone's physical presence for them to be able to control your energy. So it is a good idea to put up your roles even while talking on the phone. Because listen, how many of you all have had some phone conversations with some people, and by the end of the conversation, you need a nap or a shot or something? Whoo, child. Oh, my word. Okay, chapter 30. Awake for the inner child. Awake for the inner child. Our spiritual evolution depends heavily upon our recovery from our worst addictions. Our addiction to the victim archetype. That is our most worst addiction. And that is to be a victim in everything, which traps us in the past and saps our life energy. The inner child represents nothing but a metaphor of our woundedness and our cutesy form of victim consciousness. Wrapping our victim consciousness in baby clothes does not make it any more acceptable. Invoking our inner child still represents addictive behavior. Please note that I am not talking about the playful, creative, and life-affirming inner child, such as the one described by Richard Bach, or the part of ourselves that comes forward to inspire and awaken us. I'm talking about the whining little brats who lives in the back room of our mind, that unhappy victim who can always be relied upon to blame everyone else for our unhappiness. That one. This is the one we pandered to at all those inner child workshops in the 1980s. For the sake of our spiritual evolution and our eventual release from the victim archetype, we must bring the inner brat's life lovingly to a close. I therefore propose that you hold a funeral and pronounce him or her deceased. If you choose to go ahead with this exercise, you will probably grieve the loss of your inner child, and that's okay. No doubt your inner child has given you solace and comfort in your pain over the years. But now is the time to move on. Radical forgiveness releases you from the need to hold on to woundedness. So allow yourself to release your inner child now. As long as you hold on to those past wounds, radical forgiveness remains impossible. Clinging to your inner child only holds you back, because that child represents your past wounds. While you want to move on with your life, you may be surprised to find that that inner child wants to move on too. To release your inner child, try the following meditation. The funeral meditation. Sit comfortably and take 3 deep breaths, allowing our body to relax as your breath leaves your body. Notice any areas of the body that remains tight. Consciously relax them, knowing that during this meditation, your body will continue to relax with every breath you take. And soon you will be profoundly relaxed from head to toe. Now look inside yourself and find the room in which sits the young person who has willingly carried your pain. Find the inner child who holds your memories of being abused, ignored, betrayed, abandoned, unaccepted, or unloved. As you come upon this little person in that room, notice that he or she is surrounded by lists, ledgers, charts, or scoreboards. The walls of the room are covered with people's names, what they did to you, and the punishment you have believed they deserve. In the ledgers, the child keeps a careful tally of all the time someone victimized you and what it cost you. Notice the joylessness of this room. As you look at this young child, realize how sad he or she really feels being locked down there alone with the pain, mired in victim consciousness. Realizing that it is time for change, you walk across the room and throw open the windows to let in the sunlight. As it floods into the room, the ink on the charts on the wall starts to fade, and the ledger books begin to crumble to dust. The list tacked to the wall also fall to the ground and dissolve. Look at the little person who has lived in this room for all those years, keeping resentment scores day by day. See his or her broad smile and joyous expression. Now I am free to go, the child says. Go where, you ask? I'm free to go to the next place. I should have left years ago, but I've been awaiting for you to release me from this job. Suddenly you notice that this person, who was young and childlike such a short while ago, is growing old and becoming wizened and gray-haired right before your eyes. Yet a great peace has replaced his or her sadness. Thank you for letting me go, he or she gasps, lying down slowly on a couch. You say, I'm sorry it's taken so long to bring light into this room. I'm sorry I've held you back. That's quite all right, comes the quiet reply. It really is okay. Time is just an illusion anyway. Goodbye. With that, the little person dies, looking peaceful and serene. Lovingly, you wrap the little person in a white cloth and take the body upstairs and out into the light. A horse and buggy wait there, and the angels hover nearby, singing softly. All the people who have ever been in your life or waiting to pay their respects, all past hurts are forgiven. Love is everywhere. The bells on the horse and buggy ring softly as the entourage slowly begins its journey to the hill where a grave has been prepared. At the graveside, everyone sings and great joy envelops the group. Your angels are with you and support you as you say your last farewell. See the little person being lowered lovingly and gently into the grave while the celestial choir sings. As a stone is placed upon the grave, you feel a new sense of freedom and love moving through you. Forgive my dog. You walk to the bottom of the hill where you find a fast running stream. You wash your hands and face in the water and see your reflections there. Feel the cleansing water of the stream running through your being, taking with it all dust and debris from the room where the little person once dwelled. Hear the sound of the water babbling over the rocks. See the sun sparkling on the water and feel the warmth of the sun on your body. Notice the green of the surrounding fields and the many bright flowers all around you. All is well. Open your eyes whenever you feel ready to do so. Being without your wounded inner child will feel strange for a while, but you will also begin to notice some positive changes. Hold on 1 second, you all. I'm gonna see what's wrong with her. Okay, it was somebody outside. Somebody was outside, dropping something off. Okay, here we go. And she's still going. But listen, I have a little Chihuahua, Dotson mix, and when I tell you that little girl, you could not tell her that she was not a pit bull. All right. Yeah, that was the male person. Okay. Delivered on a Sunday, no less. That's interesting. Okay, here we go. Notice the green. Yes, notice the green of the surrounding fields and the many bright flowers all around you. All is well. Open your eyes whenever you feel ready. Being without your wounded inner child will feel strange for a while, but you will also begin to notice some positive changes. You will feel lighter, less burden, more in the moment. Your life energy will increase as you retrieve the energy that was previously spent holding on to the wounds of your inner child. Be prepared to encounter problems with close friends with whom you previously spent time sharing wounds. They will not like this change in you, for they will see that you no longer give your wounds power. Since they remain committed to their own wounds, they may be uncomfortable with you. They may even begin feeling as if you have betrayed them. If you are a member of a support group that thrives on sharing wounds, such as adult children of alcoholics or incest survivors, be prepared to disconnect yourself from those groups. Eventually, you will probably find your need to attend group meetings diminishing anyway. Group meetings diminishing anyway. But if you are the least bit codependent, you might still feel as if leaving the group is a challenge. Stick to your guns and do not take personally other people's attempts to disconnect from you or talk of betrayal. These people will come around eventually and probably will want some of what they see you have gained. And that is a fact. That is a fact. As I journey along in my own path, I noticed that old conversations I'm not interested in having anymore. Not at all. I don't even give ear to it. Charity says it happens. Absolutely, it does. I don't give ear to it. I'm not entertained by it anymore. And I was just talking about this last night. That's my path. That's my journey, right? I'm also not interested in forcing somebody else to move when I move. Okay. You're going to come into your knowing and your awakening and your forgiveness and you're going to come into yours in your own timing, the same way I came into mine. I'm not one to force that. But what I will not do is pander. I won't, because I'm now thinking from another space. And so I'm not going to bring myself to see things the old way just because that's where you want to be. I say Charm says, can we rebirth her into a new bright light healed and restored so we can play together because I need her to keep me young? Absolutely. And that's what he definitely said that. He said, now, if you're talking about, let me go back to it. He stated, we're going to let go of the old, of the one that wants to be a victim. Okay. He says, it says, please note that I'm not talking about the playful, creative, and life-affirming inner child, such as the one described by Richard Bach, or the part of ourselves that comes forward to inspire and awaken us. I'm talking about the whiny little brat that lives in the back room of our mind that's unhappy, happy victim who can always be relied upon to blame everybody else. That's definitely the one that we want to funeralize, okay? Going back to what I was saying, I've noticed that when my conversation change, it no longer appeals to certain people because people don't want you to change. They want you to stay the way you are so that they can stay the way they are. Then, people who are not ready to change, they're anti you changing. Because if you change and they stick around, then one or two things are going to happen. One, it's going to invoke change on them, or two, they're going to see how much they are not changing in you. And it's going to either cause resentment, or it's going to cause shame, guilt, or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? Charity says the crabs. It's the crab. It's the crabs for me. The crabs. Everybody's not wanting you to change and move forward and all. Don't know. Everybody don't want that. They don't. Some people are absolutely okay where they are. And you know, it's okay with me. I choose for myself. But I do understand that you choosing to stay where you are is not okay for me. You see what I'm saying? It's not okay for me. So self-love, self-awareness, understanding of new, out with the old thinking, all of those are taken into account when it comes down to certain relationships, friendships. I can't hold on to you no more. I can't. I respect you enough for you to choose your path. Sure. I respect the fact that you want to stay where you are. Absolutely. But for me, it's no longer conducive for my growth. Therefore, I have to remove me by removing you. And it's okay. It says nothing about whether I love you. It says nothing about whether you know what I'm saying, whether I support you and respect you and all of this stuff, whether you have a business or whatever the case. I still am rooting for you. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate you at all. In fact, radical forgiveness says we not hating. I don't hate you. I thank you for whatever you brought to me. I thank you. Jocelyn says we have to realize it doesn't matter if people don't want us to change. It's about our own personal growth. Absolutely. When you come away from appeasing people, then you learn how to choose for you. Again, self-love. Self-love, self-love, self-love is a major, major, major factor when it comes down to this walk right here, to any walk for yourself. Self-love. You gotta know you're deserving. You gotta know that you're worth it. You gotta know it. You gotta know it. Because apparently no one else is understanding this, because they would have wanted the change for you too. A lot of people get angry with you when you change. They get mad. Oh, you acting brand new. Oh, you switching up on us. Really? Really? I thank everyone who came, and I thank everyone who shared. I really do. I think everyone who shared. I do appreciate that, because, this is my sidebar, and I'm going on a tangent right now, but I noticed that if it's some BS and some gossip talk and some foolery and who Lori Harvey sleeping with now, and you know how many baby mamas that Future got and all of this stuff, I noticed that we get more interaction and shares. I do. Such and such died and all this. I noticed that there's more shares and interaction. It's so sad. It's so unfortunate that when you're talking about growth, important stuff that matters to our lives, it's like you got to beg, plead, you got to almost give up your firstborn to get somebody to help and support that and spread the word. It's unfortunate. I just noticed it. I just noticed it. When I looked down. Charity says, I'm in a group home and they hate me growing. See? And yes, Jocelyn said they will be all right. Guess what? Your growth is for you. It's not for them. Your growth, just like your life, is for you. It's not for them. This is for you, aligning with your purpose, yourself. Your higher self. That's it. That's all. I don't remember passing out a survey and asking anybody if they okay with my growing. I really don't give two craps, to be perfectly honest with you. To be perfectly honest with you. I have been called every name under the sun. Guess what? I stand there and I will look at them square in their face as if They got 4 eyeballs. I don't argue about me. This is me. I am sure and I am certain in who I am. People who don't know who they are the ones that typically have a problem with you knowing who you are. That's on me, okay? Because if you really understood who you were, then you would understand who I am. Because you would then see yourself in me as I see myself in you. That's it. That's it. Okay? So, yeah. The afterword. This is the afterword. He said, this is from Colin Tipping. He says, 12 years after first publishing this book, I finally caught up with my own thinking about radical forgiveness, being much larger than a mere process of forgiveness, bigger, in fact, than I ever imagined. I've known from the beginning that radical forgiveness has never been about forgiveness per se, at least not as we have traditionally conceived it. It is indeed an alternative way of forgiving that is quicker and more effective than any other form of forgiveness. But it's something infinitely greater, more all-encompassing, and more revolutionary. Hey, Kai, welcome, honey. It is nothing less than a mind-blowing idea that shatters our existing ideas of reality and changes our current worldview. It invites us to engage in a process that is rooted in a fourth dimensional reality that we don't yet understand. Neither is there much proof of its efficacy, other than the evidence of our own awareness and how significantly changed we become when we engage in it. If you've done a worksheet, then you know what I mean. It requires that we suspend our normal way of thinking about ourselves, again, self-love, about ourselves and our relationships to the world at large, and we open to the possibility that we can begin operating from this new reality before we really know what it is or how it works, just by being willing to do it. But the truly amazing gift that it offers humanity lies in its capacity to serve as a bridge that enables us to move freely and easily without knowing it between third dimensional reality, which is the here and the now, and fourth dimensional reality. Okay. A bridge that enables us to practice operating from the love vibration of the latter while existing physically in the former. Such a bridge is necessary because even though deep down we know that fourth dimensional reality is based on love and peace and oneness and joy, and we yearn desperately to go there, we are terrified at the thought of letting go of what is all so familiar, which is the 3D realm that we are in right now. And I would go so far as to even mention trying to go and achieve the fifth dimension dwelling, even higher than the fourth. We're going to talk about that, okay? This is true even through the current reality is based on fear and separation and pain. This realm, where we live now, is totally based on fear, separation, and pain. That is all that's inflicted here. Fear-mongering religion, news and government, famines and sicknesses and ailments and all of that, fear of death and all of those things, not having an understanding, fear of not having enough, fear of somebody having too much, it's just fear that they will become aware, fear that they would have more power, fear that I will lose my power, it's just fear, separation, us and them, race and gender and non-binary, binary, left or right, blue or red, Republican or Democrat. Upper class, lower class, middle class. Crazy. Pain. Yes. Charity says life and happiness. Yes, Ashe, it's too much. Too much. That's what dwells in this 3D realm. In this. Even things like time and running out of it. And what? Pain. Relationship lies and the doubt is real and deep-seated. What if I jump into the void and find that the other reality doesn't exist after all? So while the technology of radical forgiveness ostensibly appears to be about helping us forgive ourselves and others, its real purpose is to give us a chance to practice being in that other reality while being blissfully ignorant of our actual presence there. Okay? Yes, Charity. Charity says we are meant to be masters in all of these things. Absolutely. Everybody. You know, it lulls us into thinking that we are simply doing a forgiveness workshop or one of the other processes, when in fact we are, without realizing it, actually stepping across that chasm and operating in fourth dimensional reality. Absolutely. Ashe says, time is an illusion just as perfection is. Thank you. Thank you. But the illusion or the lie is that we are, there is a such thing. Even right now, I'm perfect right now in my nowness. I am perfectly here and now. And then when I evolve into another, higher whatever, then I will be perfectly in my here now. That's oh my goodness. That's something. Okay. By the use of the smoke and mirrors and the blessing of ignorance, our ego happily goes along with the process. Like anything else, the more we practice something, the less fear we have about it. See? When the time comes for us to make the shift, which I believe is imminent, we will be so accustomed to being in the vibration of love-based reality through using radical forgiveness that our fears about making the final leap will have evaporated. Because you will understand that final leap, quote unquote, it really is a final leap here. It doesn't mean that it's your finale. Okay, like even prior to coming into this realm, you came from somewhere. It's not your finale. So it's that in and of itself should remove and extract fear completely. Completely. This brings me to a question that people who have just completed one of my workshops frequently ask. How can I stay in the radical forgiveness vibration and not get pulled back into victim consciousness by the world around me? Great question. The quick answer is simple. Keep using the tools. Keep practicing. Keep working at it. Each and every time we practice radical forgiveness, we become more and more anchored in the fourth dimension reality. And in turn, it becomes less and less likely that we will choose to return to the third as it pertains to that. Eventually, it will become our default way of being, and we will have become fully stabilized at the higher vibratory rate. But there is a much deeper aspect to this question that we must also address. In order to keep using the tools so that we remain playing in fourth dimensional reality and raising our vibrations, we must stay awake. Everybody speaks of woke. Do you know what it means to be awake? Refer to the victim land roller coaster diagram, which is in figure 18. It says, and here it says, we see that if we become so upset that we go beyond the line marking both the loss of spiritual consciousness and our crossing into victim land, we are in deep trouble. The result is a dramatic lowering of our vibratory rate and the loss of awareness of the newfound reality. We find ourselves back in the world of separation and fear-based reality, back in the grip of the ego. The furthest thing from our mind at this point is doing a worksheet or listening to a Radical Forgiveness CD. In short, we're lost. Okay? I now see this phenomenon as not just a setback for the people who lose what they have gained through the Radical Forgiveness experience, as the question about falling back into victim consciousness implies might happen, but as the thing most likely to impede the achievement of the mission to create a world of forgiveness by whenever. Okay. As you know, to create this awakening, a certain critical mass of people whose consciousness is sufficiently raised to counteract to many whose vibratory rate remains low is required. It is critical, therefore, that all those who have had their vibration raised, even by reading this book, remain awake and engaged in the very process that keeps them traversing that bridge. Until now, my primary goal in using Radical Forgiveness has been to heal our wounds and release energy blocks in order to improve our lives. Not that I have restricted it by working with individuals, for I have found it to be every bit as potent a technology for healing communities. Working in Australia gave me the opportunity to try it in the context of reconciliation movement that is happening there as white and Aboriginal Australians come together to heal their terrible past. I wrote and published a book there called Reconciliation Through Radical Forgiveness, a spiritual technology for healing communities. This book was designed to give everyone in Australia who wanted reconciliation the spiritual technology to bring it about, something they could use in their own homes, schools, and communities. I'm doing the same thing now with corporations. So yes, of course, this work will continue. But my colleagues and I at the Institute of Radical Forgiveness are also extending that focus to include helping people not only to maintain the high vibratory rate gained during the Radical Forgiveness experience, but to increase it steadily to as high a level as possible so that there will be no going back. To this end, we have created a radical empowerment program designed to enable people to operate from a higher than normal vibratory rate. And instead of always being the effect in a cause and effect world, to become the cause in their own life. Radical empowerment is a combination of radical forgiveness to clean up the past and deal effectively with the present, and radical manifestation to create the future. Hence the formula reform and radical forgiveness and radical manifestation. So radical empowerment equals radical forgiveness plus radical manifestation. Empowered in this way, people will be able to manifest what they want easily and quickly. One of the keys to our spiritual empowerment and central to our maintaining our connection with the radical forgiveness vibration is the systematic development of that part of our consciousness known as the observer. This is the self-aware part of ourselves that is able to witness or observe the whole community of selves within. From its vantage point outside of or separate from ourselves, it will, if trained to do so, notice when we begin to go unconscious. It will then take steps to bring us back, probably by reminding us to do the 4-step process in that moment or to listen to the radical CD. A trained observer will keep us out of victim land, free and always with choice in our lives. Another question that inevitably comes up is, how can I effectively apply the radical forgiveness technology to every area of my life? Which ultimately should be the goal. The answer to this is also contained in the Radical Empowerment Program. Once you have integrated the radical forgiveness and radical manifestation model into your consciousness and develop your observer to a reasonably high degree, you will naturally begin to utilize radical empowerment in every aspect of your life. It will be hard not to. The third question that arises once people realize the potential of this work to make a difference in the world and see it for themselves for possibility to do meaningful spiritual work becomes, how can I share this with others? The answer to that is we now have in place the professional certification program. So he talks about in the book how, all of the programs that he offers and things like that. Another way to respond to the question is by pointing out that radical forgiveness is a word of mouth phenomenon. And it absolutely is. This started back in the 90s. It started back in the 90s. And of course, he's written the original book, and I was made aware of the original book, which I have. And then it's flipped over, or he updated it, later on, adding new processes and things like that to it, which was awesome as well. He says, back in 1997, when I first published the book, I received a letter from the owner of one of the biggest independent bookstores in Atlanta. She said that she was noticing that people were coming in and buying a copy of the book and then returning a week or so later to buy 6 more for their friends. She wrote, I have seen this phenomenon happen only with 2 other books, Celestine Prophecy and Conversations with God, both of which have become bestsellers. I'm not suggesting necessarily that you go out and buy 6 books and give them away, but you would be contributing in a big way if you simply told your friends about radical forgiveness or even exhibited it. This is me, Ms. B talking, exhibiting radical forgiveness in your everyday life. And then, when people observe your level of peace and awareness and happiness and joy and being lightweight and lighthearted, and when they see that, they're going to want to know how. They're going to want to know how. So, of course, they're going to ask you, right? There's probably no better way these days than to send out an email message to everyone in your address book to talk about, if they're interested or whatever the case. Or you can offer a book club. You can do it like I just did it, collective, reading or discussion and things like that. You can absolutely do it that way. All right. So there you have it. Radical forgiveness is finally out of the closet. It has been, as it were, masquerading as a simple way to heal your life, which of course it is, but it is now outed as being a powerful technology that will, in addition to helping you heal and eradicate blocks in your life, raise your vibration considerably, awaken you fully, and assist you in becoming an empowered spiritual being, fully able to shift easily between the 3rd and the 4th, and even the 5th dimensions of reality. It is always and also a way for each of us, both individually and collectively, to make a significant difference in the world. As our vibratory rate increases, we will find ourselves being called to do more to help others and prepare for the Great Awakening. It is also a way for each of us. I already read that. Thank you for being on this journey with me. Thank you all for being on this journey with Divine Femininity United. There's much to look forward to and be excited about, and I'm grateful that you are in my life. Namaste, Colin Tipping. That is awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. I love that. It's amazing. That is amazing. Colin Tipping was born in England in 1941. Wow. Ms. Johnson says, this is an awesome book. Okay. It's an awesome book. Anybody who wants to give some feedback, especially for those who've been here, the course of the book reading, Ashe got her hands raised, honey. She's like, yes, this has been awesome. It's been awesome. Don't get me wrong. We're going to go over and read through radical self-forgiveness as well. We're going to do that. Not right away. Yes, Charity, you're very welcome. Charity says, thanks for reading. Absolutely. Not right away, but we're definitely going to, we're going to go into, that was a beautiful segue too. And I know he didn't know that, 20, 30 years later that I would be saying that I would be reading this book. And and it would be a beautiful segue, because next week we're going to begin a series where we're going to talk about the third dimensional and fourth dimensional and fifth dimensional chakras. Okay. A lot of us, we kind of stop at the third. Ms. Johnson said, this has truly helped me a lot. That's good. That's so good. I'm so glad. Has it caused you all, and you can do this in the chat or you can do this in the comments or whatever. Has it caused you all to, once you became aware of the things and got the lessons and, did your rituals and your process and your releases and letting go, has it caused you to let go of and release some people, some relationships and things like that? I will say it has for me. It absolutely has for me. Yeah, that my physical self, of course, my feeling self, was hurt by having to let go and having to release people. But my higher self was okay, because at the end of the day, the job, whatever job that was supposed to be done, was done. And I was able to take the lessons that were learned from those people and relationships and dynamics, apply them, grow from them, and then move on to my next, which is where I am now. So in this process, I have released, since we began, three people. Not in harsh ways or nothing like that, but in ways that were necessary. Okay. Jocelyn says, definitely, I've released a lot of people and I've learned to do radical forgiveness to make me better for myself. That's good. Ashley Charm said, yes, a true healing is a great feeling. Absolutely. And some of the healing, my earring just fell smooth out my ear. Some of the healing that is, that comes to us from letting the people go. Again, initially it's uncomfortable, because especially if the people were, staples, you know what I mean? If they were, regulars, if they were everyday people that are in your life or were in your life and things like that, of course. Charity says, let go of weight. And that's the thing too, because I don't even think that they were weight. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think, me personally, I wouldn't call them weights. Justin says, I've even done the calling back of my energy. Wonderful. Absolutely. Now that's necessary. Listen, that's a necessary thing right there for sure. Now, for me, again, going back to the weight part, I wouldn't say that they were weights. Not at all. Because looking at it through the eyes of radical forgiveness, everybody served a purpose. Everybody brought a lesson. Everybody. So because of them, I learned more and I've grown more. I've grown higher. So I can't say that a person that taught me lessons is a weight to me. I can't say that. Charity says my body is a lot lighter, and that's good. That's good. Ashe says my grandchild keep talking to me, taking me off focus. She said you have to love them. Yeah, I know that's funny. That is funny. That's what they do for sure. But yeah, no, I wouldn't ever, even those who probably I have referred to as weights in times past, you know what I mean? That's only because at the time I didn't realize their purpose and what they were teaching me, what their soul was teaching my soul. They may not have even known what was happening, okay, or what they were even used for, you know what I'm saying? But it was something in them that caused them to bring a lesson to me that obviously I needed. And I gained it. I gained it. I gained it. And when I gained it, I was able to see through different eyes from a different view. And I was able to say, you know what? Although I had to let them go, I still appreciate them. Because if not for them, and if not for that thing happening, if not for them being the ones to do it, then would I have grown in that area, or would I still be in need of growing in those areas? They served a purpose, whether they knew it or not, directly or indirectly. They served a purpose. And for that, I thank them. I'm in utter appreciation of them, which is why I can wish them well and really mean it. Because some, y'all know some of y'all, huh? So some of y'all, hey, what you say, what y'all said, I wouldn't piss on you if your grave was on fire, huh? So I'm not there. I don't have that for anybody. I don't have those feelings for anybody. Okay. I don't have those feelings for anybody. Charity says, I meant the weight, not should on in oneself. Oh, okay. The weight on in yourself. Yes. Jocelyn said, yeah, I'm one of those. Some of y'all. She said she definitely one of those. Listen, I wouldn't stomp that fire out if it was yeah, I understand. I get it. I'm not there. I don't hate a soul, honestly. Even, and I write about the rape that I had to go through at the age of 15. I write about that in my book. I don't even hate that person. There was something lacking in them. There was something missing out of them that caused them to even feel the need to do that. You know what I'm saying? It was something missing. And yes, at the time, utterly painful, horrific. That thing fashioned a number of years of my life after that, because I held on to that, because I was a victim to that. And it wasn't until I looked back at it and I was able to say, let's see here. Let's turn this around. Let's see. Let's dissect this. Let's break this down. Let's break this down. Let's take the components. Let's lay them out and let's look at them from a different viewpoint. I'm no longer honestly, I could walk straight past that man on the street and I wouldn't know who he was. That's how completely separated from the person, I am. Like, I don't, it for a long time in my life stopped being about the person. Ashe says, and knowing that is the closer that's needed. Oh yeah, the closure that's needed. Absolutely. I it's not about the person. I don't care about get back and retaliation and vengeance and all of that. Even with my husband, there were so many things that was done that I could have legitimately, like I would have had every right to hate all parts of his guts, all parts of it. But then I had to say, for what? Because I know his story and I know that he himself was coming from a place. The crazy part is a little over a month ago, just maybe 40, 45 days ago, his inner child came to me for some help in healing. So there's no way that I would have been able to assist in that realm if I still had hatred for this man. No, there's no hatred at all. In fact, even after all of the situation, we was laughing and kikiing at the divorce hearing. So it's not even that. No. I can't hold hate in me. I won't allow hate to reside. Hate is uncomfortable in me, as it should be. Hate don't have no, it don't want to be around. Mm-mm. Not at all. I dance too much for hate to live here. I laugh too big for hate to want to stay here. I love too hard. I help too much. You know, I have a heart to help and assist and help guide and walk with and all of that. I help too much for that. I love too much for that. for hate to be here at all. You know what I'm saying? It's not comfortable here. What's comfortable here is wholeness, health, healing, love, joy, peace, like peace overflowing for real, beauty and authenticity and, you know, art and all of that. And I understand there's a need for dark, just like there's a need for light. I mean, hello, because I can love and light all day, but people will try you. Okay. And that self-love will cause you to be, you know, assertive and put your foot down every now and again. And even that's love. Even that's love. That's love for you first and foremost, but that's also love for that person because I'm trying to spare you, dear heart. Heed the warning. Okay. All right. Daughter, son, niece and nephew, heed the warning, please and thank you. All right. Take this smile and going on now. All right. You know, it's that type of stuff. Even through that, I have literally fussed folks out, cussed folks out. And at the end of the cussing and the fussing, I'm going to ask you, are you hungry? Now let's talk about, you know, what led us here. We're going to deal with the issue first, but now let's talk about it. I remember I was in a relationship years ago. I was singing in a group. If you all know, I'm a former recording artist. So I was singing with a group at the time, and I was dating a man in the tenor section of the group. Okay. And he had cheated on me with one of the other fellow singers that actually, in most cases, sang on the same mic as me. Okay. So it was really crazy. It was crazy. Okay. And it was hidden and all of those things. But let me tell you something. The way my gift is set up, I've never had in any relationship that I've ever had, I've never had to be jealous or look through phones, you know, the crazy psycho girlfriend stuff. You know what I mean? Follow nobody. I've never had to do that. I get straight dreams. I'm talking about vivid dreams about stuff. And it's clear, crystal clear. I get premonitions. I have helped somebody most people in several occasions when it comes down to visions and premonitions and dreams that I get. So I know it's happening. I know it's happening. And once I dream about it, I can definitely, that's a check I'm taking to the bank instantly. I don't need no hardcore proof. Nope. I trust and believe. That's the proof. Okay. Yes, Ashe said, I'm going to tell them I love them because that's never going to change. Never. Not at all. Yeah, but had the dream and, you know, and I told her, I said, listen, because we all sang together. I said, listen, because we had a gig or something. And I think one thing that we did was we ate sure enough. Boy, listen, the way the hips were set up in the group, baby, we ate, we sang and squalled down, baby, but we ate afterwards for sure. Okay. So, as we were eating, I think I was doing something and I walked over to her and I said, remind me to talk to you later. Okay. And so she was like, okay, cool. Mind you, not even thinking, not even concerned or whatever the case. She didn't know what it was, you know, just regular whatever. Because even after hearing and seeing the dream, I didn't walk up to her. Neck rolling and hand all in her face. I went, for what, baby? Come on here now. You let a person establish themselves as a fool. You don't help them. Okay. Period. All right. So I completely forgot to talk to her that night. And so did she. She forgot too. That was a Sunday. I went to work on Monday, and in the middle of my workday, she called my desk. And I answered the phone, and this is Bianca. How can I help you? She says, "Hey B, what's going on?" I said, "Hey." She says, "You were supposed to talk to me yesterday. What did you want to talk to me about?" I said, "Oh, girl, you sure right." That right there in and of itself was proof that I wasn't bothered. I was completely unbothered because I completely forgot to even have a conversation. Okay. Look, Kristen say she ain't forget. You so silly. Kristen ready to go down. Okay. Jocelyn said, what bothers me is when the person tries to deny it after they are given the step-by-step of the dream. Baby, listen, that's their foolishness. But I tell you what, it always comes to fruition, especially the warnings that I've gotten for people before it actually happened. And I go to tell them the warning, and they want to act like, oh, okay, all right. So when it happens, they look at me like a little sad puppy, ears all hanging low and can. No, pick that chin up. Keep that same energy. Keep that. You gonna eat this because I tried to help you. I tried to help you like my grandma's helped you. Okay. So when she called, I said, oh yeah. I said, listen. I said, I had a dream about you and him. That's all I said. I swear I didn't get into no details, no nothing. I said I dreamt about you and him. Baby, if when I tell you the dam, the dam had broken, okay? Tears instantly. Oh my God, B, I'm so sorry. It was just one time, and I and such, and I was just in a vulnerable place, and he took me home, and there was just woo, 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 and one thing led to another. The quiver. No one thing, Baby, I'm looking at the phone like, woo, child. Okay, the dream didn't tell me all these tea leaves, okay? But it gave me enough. It gave me enough. All I said was, I had a dream about you and him. Baby, the levee broke, okay? The levee broke. The levieth broketh. I say, oh, snap. Listen. And she told everything. I'm going to tell you here's radical forgiveness. And I was demonstrating it and didn't even realize it. Radical forgiveness kept me calm, because I was on the 9 to 5 and I needed to keep my check, hit a K, my check. Okay. Jocelyn say, I'm rolling here. She said she threw them tea leaves down, okay, like a spiked football in the end zone. All right. So so I said, okay. I said, now that's news. And she gave me I'm talking about she let it roll. She let it go. Deets, and more deets. Okay. I said, okay. So I made note of all of it. And then I said, now, I appreciate you for being honest. Okay. I thank you for that. I kept this tone the whole time. Because what am I getting out of my body for? That's great. I ain't the one that cheated. Okay. So what I'm getting out of my body for? So I surely enough, I said, thank you. I appreciate you for being honest. I said, so now I have a question for you. Woman to woman. How did you allow this to happen? How did you allow this to happen? Because you knew that we were seeing each other. You knew that we were dating. What happened? Let's talk. Woman to woman. What's going on? Because at the end of the day, you're still my sister. I'm still you. You're still me. How many of y'all can do that? How many of y'all can actually proceed in a healing conversation with a person who just revealed themselves as your as the person who had a whole affair, huh? Now I still ain't addressed him. Okay, look, Jay on Clubhouse. She said, "Not me." Okay, Higher on Clubhouse says she was weak. You're not even remotely close. We're not even in the same percent, baby. We are not the same. Okay, let me tell you when you know yourself. Okay, Ashay said, I'm trying, Queen. I'm trying. I know. Charity says fearless self-love. Whenever I choose to love myself, no matter the circumstances surrounding me, I'm practicing fearlessness is a part of forgiveness. Absolutely. When I tell you, I finished talking to her woman to woman because I will never leave a person broken. Never leave a person broken. I don't care how mad and angry and hurt you are. You have got to have some type of control over yourself. Crystalline said, I can now, but I remember the days when I couldn't. Oh, I know that's right. Never leave a person broken. Because at the end of the day, I am you and you are me. Period. Address the issue. Absolutely. But there's something in that person that was missing too. And if you don't address the matter and bring some type of resolve and healing and all of those things, self-actualization, self-realization, then all she gonna do is leave you and go to somebody else and do the same thing over there. Because she has yet to rectify the actual problem. It could have been Joe Blow, the man on the moon, Ned the Wino. It don't matter who it was. It just happened to be who I was dating at the time. She was too vulnerable and open. It could have been anybody. So anybody could have got it that day. But familiarity calls her to allow herself to take him on. Now I'm gonna deal with him later. Okay? But you're my sister. Okay? You're my sister. Ashe say, help heal me, Queen. Speak it. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. You're my sister. I have a duty to you. We are where life begins. We are queen. We are mothers. We are daughters. We are the life bringers. And I cannot, with my good conscience, allow another fellow mother, queen, sister, goddess to walk out here and be blind and oblivious to her own divinity. I don't care what you got going on, sis. Control yourself. Get it under control. Do whatever steps you got to do. Take whatever steps you got to take. Cry, yell, release, cuss, fuss, punch, kick, whatever you got to do. But don't you ever allow yourself to step down off of your throne that you belong on. I don't care what you're talking about. I don't care what's going on. That circumstance is an isolated event. It's something that is temporal. It will change. But this decision that you're making is life altering and it's going to last you. Stop making permanent decisions on temporary situations. Stop making harmful, self-sabotaging decisions on temporary situations. This too shall pass. But what you're doing is you adding gasoline to your fire, sis, and I can't let you do that. Because you're going to mess around. You stand next to me when you sing. Transference of energy is a real thing. What you're not going to do is have your baggage jump over here on me in the middle of note and singing this melody and ballad. No, thank you. And also what we're not going to do is swap energies from him to me to you to him to me to you and him to me to you. Listen, I'm good. I'm a recycler, but I recycle cardboard, glass, and plastic. Okay? Not juices and berries. You understand? So his inferiority complex jumped onto you. Yours jumped over to him. And if he continues fooling with me, then it's going to jump on me. And no, God, because the way this God his body is set up, I am nobody's garbage disposal. And you will not dump your trash in me. You ever been with somebody? And once you get up sexually, we're going to talk about this. You all mark your calendar, June 28th. We're going to talk about the importance of sexual care in self-care. Period. Have you ever risen up from somebody's bed, or somebody rose up from your bed, and all of a sudden, there's that all of a sudden term, all of a sudden, you start picking up their mannerisms. You start talking like them, walking like them, dressing like them, having the same disposition as them, eventually taking on the same issues as them. If they suffer financially, here all of a sudden, here you go suffering financially. If they have some type of ailment somewhere, all of a sudden, here you go with ailments. If they don't get along with their mom and daddy, all of a sudden, your perfectly structured relationship with your parents, all of a sudden, because you have now taken on and clothed yourself with the same issues that this person, because you have not vetted that person. You became susceptible to any and everybody, any and everything. And you wonder why you're going through some stuff. Transferring of energy. Y'all better understand how powerful that energy is. This whole universe is energy based, frequency based. Y'all better understand how powerful transferring of energy is. So when I'm giving downloads and visions and premonitions and astral projecting here and there and everywhere, trust and believe it's for a reason. It's also for protection of myself and of you, whoever I got the message for. And I would absolutely love, and I tell people all the time, please, y'all, I need you to make yourself available for Spirit to speak directly to you, because listen, I am not FedEx, UPS, USPS, or all of that. How am I your carrier? This ain't got nothing to do with me. But the reason that it's coming to me is because you haven't made yourself available to listen. So now Spirit got to come through the next of kin to get you the message. Listen, let me tell y'all something. I'm focusing on me. Thank you. I'm gonna need y'all to get yourselves in the pathway of communication. Get next to some cell towers or something. Okay. Charity said, keep our house clean, that our bodies and our souls and mind. Yes, honey. Get yourself next to some 5G towers or something, so your frequencies and your communication and cables and service can be clear, so you can get your own doggone messages. Okay. Goodness. Right. Jocelyn say hashtag 5G. Exactly. Please and thank you. Signed, the medium. Good God. But just so you all know, yes, ma'am, Ashe. Ashe says, because we all have the connections. We all do. Problem is, some people haven't tapped into them. They haven't turned them on. You know, Spirit got to get you when you're sleeping, because you're too busy moving and busy when you're up and awake. Okay. So, which is why it's imperative to still yourself often. Quiet yourself. Bring yourself to a place of nothingness, of just oneness, meditation, sitting in nature, all of that, so that you can hear, making it a practice so that you can hear. And when you do that, when you exercise those things, and when you practice those things, just like with radical forgiveness, the more you practice this new information, the more you practice and work it and work it and work it and work it, it will become a part of you. And when it becomes a part of you, then that means that all of the other things will no longer be privy to you. Anything that's not speaking the same language. Like with me, I don't understand lack. I don't care what the situation looks like. I don't understand lack. Lack, I don't get it. And I'm not even talking about monetary, because when people hear lack, all of a sudden they're thinking about wallets and bank accounts and IRAs and all of that, trust funds and stuff. I just don't understand lack. I don't understand lack. Just like I don't understand mediocrity. I don't get that. I don't understand it. But once upon a time, there was lack in my life. There was mediocrity in my life. Years, I'm talking about years and long time ago. But then when I learned the importance of abundance, and when I learned the importance of understanding that you're worth more and greater and bigger, then those other things, they no longer hold weight here. I don't get that language no more. I'm not trying to get that language no more. Not at all. So when you learn new, it calls for new shifts to take place, newness, paradigms to be altered. I don't talk the same. I don't walk the same. I don't think the same. I don't move the same. I don't read the same. I don't watch the same. I just don't, because I am not the same. There's a higher demand. There's greater calling for you. And old things have passed away. Period. Take that lesson and going on now. We on to the next. On to the next. This is a path of learning and growing, constant learning and growing. And we have to continue on that path. And there's going to be some gaining of people, places, and things. And then there's also going to be some losing of people, places, and things. But guess what? The lessons learned on the path, they remain. They remain. You need those for where you're going. You need to have learned them for where you're going. That's a fact. Don't ring around the rosy so much that you can't go beyond this point. Get the lesson and move. Because your journey requires it. Your destiny requires it. The reason you're breathing requires it. You're not just here to be cute. You're not just here to, just chill. No, you're here on assignment. One that you volunteered for, by the way. So this journey here, the first objective in this life is to remember. Because this realm here, the 3D realm, it will cause you to forget. Because this realm here is based on fear, separatism, pain. It causes you to, this realm here, this 3D realm, causes you to focus on things that are illusions and don't matter. Time, race, gender, bills, status, titles, dumb stuff. Media, dumb stuff that are distractions. And the more you're distracted, the less likely you are to remember. who you really are, who you were before taking on this body. So our first objective is to remember, return to self. Once you return to self, align with self, your higher self. Once you align with self, return to self, then you can align with the mission. You can align with the purpose, and then you can get to work. But the longer we tread along this path, just doing silly stuff and just talking crazy and living crazy lives and then we prolong the journey, or we lose time. And the journey ends having accomplished nothing that you were here to do. Then you got to come back and do it again. And the devil is a whole slewfoot, two-eyeball, two-faced, snaggletooth lie. If you think I'm about to do that, lies you tell. So to prevent that, return to self. Align with self. Align with self. Remember, reconnect, and then forge ahead. But you got to first reconnect. You have to strip the distractions. Be here, but not of here. Be present here, but not of here. Okay? That's how we do it. You need help with doing that? You know where to find me. All of my links and all of my numbers and all of my things is everywhere. Okay? That is what I do. That is what I do. Okay? I say lies. I'm not coming back. Going to get this right this time. You feel me? You feel me? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Been there, done that. Love you. Bye. You know what I mean? Nah. I'm chucking all the deuces. Period. But I also, and my mother will tell you this. I've been saying this since I was young. That when I leave here, when I leave this earth, and when my body is lowered or cremate, whatever they decide to do with her, okay, with her, I will have left here a completely empty vessel. I am completing every task that I'm sent here to do. I've been saying this since I was a child. My mama can tell you. When I leave here, I will have completed my task. You better believe that, every single one of them. Because there's more than one purpose on each of us. Matter of fact, there's a purpose per ascension. There's a purpose per level. Okay? Multiple purposes. There's purposes along the journey. You know what I mean? Not a one single destination. There are several destinations along the journey before you get to your end. When I leave here, I will have a finished work. You better believe that. Not a moment before. So fear, I don't get that. Because it ain't a man, woman, boy, girl on the face of this earth that puts fear in me. I'm not worried about a gun. Because no weapon formed against me will prosper. I'm not worried about a gossiper or a hater. Because every lying tongue that rises against me shall be condemned and shown to be in the wrong. Period. I'm not worried about money or the lack thereof. I am a goddess. Period. If I want something, I create it. Simple. Simple. I need y'all to understand that. The same for you. I create my environment. I create my life. I create it with what I speak into reality. I am a creator. So are you. You do not have to accept what's on you and what's around you. Don't accept it. If you don't like it, change it. Simple. Simple. If you tired of hurting and being in pain, stop hurting. Let the stuff go. It's a declaration. It's a decision. It's a decision. You don't want to be a victim no more? Stop being a victim. Period. When you understand your own divinity, when you understand who you are, all of this other stuff, water off a duck's back. I love y'all. Y'all, if you have not registered, we got one more month for registration for the Queen's Gathering, the first annual Queen's Gathering. You can visit my website. Yes, honey. Ashe said they're not. She said, "Oh, they not listening." Oh, listen. I be trying to listen. I really do be trying to keep her grounded. That higher her, because she, y'all. I'm more aligned with her. I become more and more aligned with her every day. Okay. And I carry it out and I speak thereof, because that's me. I am her. She's me. And the more connected and aligned with her, baby. Let me tell you something. This is what this woman here, this heifer here said. Now, listen, she's not a heifer. That's. She said, "Tell me I can't have. Tell me I can't do. I'd like to see you try." This is before I said, she said it to me. Okay. Tell me I can't have. Tell me I can't do. I'd like to see you try. That was the attitude I had before it was even said to me. I used to love when people told me I can't do something. Ooh, baby, I'm about to piss you off. You know why? Because I'm going to do it twice on you. I ain't going to do it just once. I'm going to do it twice on you. You better believe that. I've always had this attitude. So I've always had a knowing. I just didn't understand. I didn't have the connection because I wasn't remembering. Oh, I remember now. Oh, I have opened the data. I have opened the hard drive. I have opened the files. Oh, I'm remembering now. I have the ability, and so everybody else, just so you know, everybody is capable of doing every single living being is capable of doing all of this. You just got to first remember. Ashe said, "I registered for the Queen's Retreat." Yes, ma'am. She said, "I need all of her. I'm ready." Yes, God. Because, baby, she gonna come forth, baby. When I started to unlock her, and when I started to align with her, I was already bold before. So you can imagine the level of boldness. Okay. I am able to see. I'm able to hear. I'm able to feel. I'm able to taste. I'm able to smell. I can be mounted to deliver messages. I can call forth energies. I can disperse energies. I can heal with just my hand or even my energy, just sending energy to whatever. I can reveal. I can also conceal. This is why I don't be in a whole lot of crowds. Because everybody can't handle all that is. Okay. This is why I limit my attendance in places. I'm very intentional with everything that I do. Very intentional. I possess an ability that is transforming, life-changing, and it has done so. I can see past, I can see present, I can see future. I don't even have to be there to see it. Trust me. I also don't have to be there to heal it. Trust me. These are the things that I have unlocked about me once I began to remember. It would behoove you to do the same. Get to know yourself. Get attached and realign to yourself. Okay? Do that. Do that. All righty, y'all. For real, for real. Get yourself registered for the retreat. Again, we have 1 month left. We're only taking 50 queens, 50, because I'm not big on big crowds. I need to be able to put hands and join in and be collective and help and walk with each and every one of you all. So we're not doing a big crowd. It's always going to be intimate. Always. Okay. Get yourself registered. Join us. All right. So that we can collectively release. I should say, I thought I was alone with being alone. It's a lot and I love it. Yes, ma'am. And here's the thing. Ain't no alone, baby. I got a whole squad. Do you hear me? I am never alone. I promise you that. From ancestors to alone, baby. Listen, that's gang gang right there. Then angelic powers and beings, gang gang. Right? Then throw the Orishas in there, gang gang. Okay. And then when you just come through with the elements and man, only in the 3D. Absolutely. Absolutely. Squad, stay ready. And I got my baby, my boy, be working on the other side. That little boy there, honey, be working for his mama. Oh, I stay surrounded. That's why I never have a feeling of loneliness at all. That's so passe for me. I used to when I didn't remember. Oh, I used to. Very much so. When I didn't remember. But the more I remember, yeah, that stuff. Oof. Honey, that stuff don't faze me. No, I wish I would. You say you don't want to hang with me. Oh, shucks. Rats. Rats. What? You say you don't like me? Ah, tear. Child, if you don't go find somebody to play with and some say it's safe to do. Baby, I wish I would. I wish I might. Okay? No, ma'am. That's stuff that don't. I ain't got no more storage. I ain't got no room in the storage for that. I don't. Not at all. It's too much work to do. It's too much work to do. We got communities and states and nations and people to heal. You think I'm worried about somebody not liking? I'm opening up a transitional home for returning citizens as we speak. For former inmates to be able to go to a place and actually be rehabilitated so that they can return back to society. With my nonprofit organization, we are finalizing a home, an actual home that is being donated to my organization for us to do this work. We are working with foster care children in art programs to allow them to be able to release their hurts and pains and help them to remember. It's not about your situation, dear. Nah. Your parents' only job was to birth you and bring you here. They did that. Now, let's get you to your task. Shall we? No. Heal mothers. Heal mothers who are hurting from the loss of their children, or women who are desiring to be mothers but don't think that they can be because they are biologically incapable. Let me tell you something. Every queen has a womb. You are a mother. You are a creator. You are a cultivator. And we will show you how to do so. We don't need defeated queens out here. No. No, 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 no. No. Because if you heal the mother, you heal woman, you heal the world. Period. We're doing the work. We're doing the work. Remember, so that you can get aligned with the work and do the work. Okay? Alrighty, y'all. I done said bye about 4 times already. I love y'all. I love y'all. Okay, I love y'all. I mean it. Also, too, real quick. I know we were talking about on reading with Sacred Woman. She mentions a whole lot of tools and oils and essences and flower essences and herbs and candles and colors and stones and all of those things. I have decided. And Ashe, I'm glad you're here, because I may need to work with you on this one too, because Ashe is one that is readily available to have some of these tools too. But I'm going to be offering those on my site. Okay. Florida waters and all of those things for you all to be able, okay, to be able to purchase some of these things and be able to set up your altars the way that you desire to set them up. Some people, unfortunately, I don't like sending people to Amazon. That's a whole nother conversation. Because some of the stuff that you're picking up, some of the stuff that y'all getting, some of the things that y'all getting are not one, authentic, or two, again, energy. Ain't no telling what's sitting on this stuff y'all getting from these people. I would much rather you get them from someone who you know is going to give you something that is already ready for use in the proper way. So I'm gonna be adding in. In fact, I have 2 more days to be able to gather up all of the imagery of the things that I'm going to be offering, so that we can add it. My website designers can add it to their to the website. Okay. I already have purpose wear on there, for you all to be. Listen, I dress like I dress like what I'm about. Okay. I believe in purpose, everything in purpose, on purpose, 100% of the time. Okay. So what I wear is purposeful. Like right now, my sleeves got happy faces and all types of joy stuff all on it. All, you know what I mean? I'm intentional with everything I do. Intentional with everything that I do, and I want you all to be the same. Okay. So, we're going to talk about it. And, Charmed, I think you might have my number. Okay. Yep. Gotcha. Yes. So what we're going to do, I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to inbox you, Charmed, about that so we can talk about it, because I do want to be able to offer those things to the people, to be able to, have access to. Everybody don't have a bodega. Everybody don't have that around them. You know what I mean? Everybody don't have a spiritual place that has been vetted that they can go to. You know what I'm saying? And I want them to, I'm someone that's trusted by a lot of people worldwide. And I want them to be able to, if they're going to access product and tools, I want them to be able to access product and tools that have been trusted, vetted, charged, all of that, ready. Okay. So anyway, we'll talk about that, and you all will be seeing it on the site very, 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 very soon. Okay. And in fact, I will let you know when it's readily available for you. Okay. Oils and all of that stuff. Yeah. So we'll get down to that. Okay. Anyway, I love you. I mean it. There's absolutely, positively nothing, and I mean nothing that you can do about it. Don't you even try it. Be sure to get yourself registered. Be sure to get yourself set up and ready for the event. Okay. Get yourself registered. We're running out of time here. Okay. If you can sponsor somebody. You can absolutely do that as well. But get the queens in the building. Get the queens in the building. Okay. Jasmine said, love you too. Thank you, honey. Alrighty, you all. I will see you all on Tuesday, where we're going to be going to Gateway 6 on Sacred Woman. Okay. By Queen of Four. All right. Peace.